Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm a little nervous because you're going to throw these questions at me.
I'll go easy on you. So, what's it been? How long have you been in your apartment right now?
I mean, how long has it been since I've actually gone
hmm
out? I actually go outside during the day with an eye mask on for 5 to 10 minutes just to get some sun. But I haven't actually left. Well, I took a walk. Robert actually walked me outside for 10 minutes. That was like 3 days ago. But I haven't taken a drive and gone to another location in, I don't really know, like over 2 months, 2 or 3 months.
Okay. So, you do get outside some
Yeah,
for sunlight and
on the
get your.
balcony there, yeah, and I get sun on my back. I feel like I do need that. And I put the eye mask on, and then I don't look towards the sun.
Is the eye mask like it covers your whole entire eye on the sides as well, or
I actually have
on the
two
top?
eye masks and aluminum foil in between that covers everything.
Can you see through it? Like, is it like sunglasses kind of?
No, I mean,
Uh,
it like blocks all the light.
oh,
Although it doesn't really block all the light, because if I turn towards the sun, I will see light coming.
wow. So, the light in this room doesn't bother you?
No, I can have like 40-watt light bulbs and a heavy shade on a 75-watt light bulb. It has to be just a certain intensity I can tolerate. And when I go in certain rooms, if the light is, if there's no light, and then I come back into a lit room, I have to go gradually and cover my eyes. So I can't go from a dark room to a light room right away, or it'll cause achiness and my light sensitivity will increase. I have to be real careful as I walk around in the different lighting situations.
Huh. So it's mainly sunlight that bothers you, and also like computer screens and um, like phone screens and stuff.
Yeah, I can't look at a computer, I can't look at a phone, no LCDs, I can't look at a light. I can't even have look outside. Like I can't look outside, and if the shades are open, they can only be open a little bit, and only a certain amount of sunlight can come in that I can tolerate. And I can't look at the light,
Mm.
or I can look like maybe 4 feet away from the light sunlight source.
So you have friends that come and visit and buy you groceries and stuff like that to get
Yeah,
by.
I can survive. Yeah, and I have my iPhone that has dictation feature and it reads texts. I text people and I dictate the text through Siri on the iPhone. And I can check my Facebook, email. I can write Facebook statuses and comments. So that keeps me connected. And I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Mm.
Um,
How do you feel spiritually?
well, yeah, I mean, I had been listening to verses, Baha'i verses, and in the first couple months, I was like really connecting with God through the writings, hearing the writings. Then I just went through a phase where I went, just escaped into music and podcasts to block off some of the darkness. And now a lot of the loneliness and darkness feeling is coming back. And through it all, I'm just generally more spiritual. I'm not feeling that my sense of purpose and pleasure is coming from the world or coming from the things of the world. It's this spiritual dimension that I've just naturally had to gravitate towards and attach to, whether it's actual prayer or just a sense of this life is about the spiritual reality. And because so many worldly pleasures have just been stripped from me, just the feeling of being able to go out and go be around people and also just have sun. I mean, without that, you kind of get a certain good feeling from being out in the sun. And so I went through a lot of panic in the first couple of months, but then I kind of accepted it. But all through it, I've just developed this sort of inner spiritual sense that I guess it's increasing, but at the same time, the need for real connection is also increasing where at this point I really need authentic spiritual connections with people based on the love of God and based on his faith in God. Because God, through Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i faith, is the real source for my light. That's the thing that transcends this world and allows me to get a sense of well-being that is independent of this world and the pleasures of the world. And I'm needing that more and more. But I feel like I need other people to be there with me to like recognize and realize that. So we're together in that space of spirituality and spiritual connection. So I really want to create community.
So you want people to come visit and pray and talk about spiritual topics and go deeper than.
I mean, I really want people to recognize that. I mean, we all have developed these personas and these constructs and these ways of being in the world, but they're really protections against parts of us that have been like exiled. They're like the hurt person, the insecure person, the guilty person. I mean, inside we have other parts of us that are covered over by these ways of being that we've developed in the world to protect us. But when you go through like a huge calamity, those defense systems and coping mechanisms get stripped away, and you're just in that part of you that is needy and fearful and scared or whatever. So it's kind of lonely being there because out in the world, you're just busy doing things and you're not really in touch with those parts of you. So I kind of want companionship in here. And then this is the place where you say, help me, God. This is a place where the love of God reaches in. And then you feel comfort from God because you're really needing that love. And you recognize that we're just these dependent creatures. But out in the world, there's like busyness and accomplishing things and productivity, and that's all good. That's all good for the material world. But I mean, it should not obscure the real part of us that needs to be loved and needs love, and that real love is the love of God. I mean, we have love for each other, but it's limited. So I mean, I'm just realizing these inner realities, and I want to share those with people, and I want to share in those realizations with people. So we're together here, beseeching God, longing for real love, wanting to connect with each other in ways that create a sense of longing and love.
So how do you feel about being inside for the rest of your life?
Yeah, the fact that my eyes are not improving is something that I've had to deal with. It's a kind of a sense of I've got to create this sense of connection. I need a support system. I'm going to need material help. And
So just so everybody understands, if you are exposed to light in whatever condition, like too bright or too long or whatever, the muscles around your eyes tighten.
if I open the, if I looked out the window, my eyes would get tight and tense. They'll get really tight if I looked out the window. I mean, that would be drastic.
But
and there would also be an achiness, and I might not be able to sleep, which is what happened when this.
so like not at all, not even a couple hours
I mean, if I looked out for like 5 seconds, I think I would not be able to sleep
at
tonight.
all.
They'd be, I might doze off for an hour, but no, I wouldn't even. I can't even glance outside. I mean, I don't even think about it as far as like the last time I went outside in the sun, I had to run back in. I mean, I had dizziness, headache, tightness, and also the worst thing is that my light sensitivity increased.
Hmm.
So that's the main fear that now when I'm inside, I'll have to turn the lights down lower and it stays that way.
So if you are in a controlled lighting situation, you are able to sleep at night.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
actually,
how
I've been
many hours?
sleeping better than I have in years. I think it's because there's
Eight
some
hours?
mechanism, yeah, in me that's just realizing, well, this is your time
Huh.
to leave it all behind, to sleep.
Wow.
So I'm getting good 8 hours sleep. Um, But yeah, as far as the future, the way I'm thinking about it, it's almost like there isn't one. I'm not sure. I just know that I need to be with God. I need to change the world. I need there to be some sort of spiritual revolution slash evolution where we're feeling the spirit and I'm with people and there's sort of a movement of like, yes, I want reality in God because a community that arises from that kind of need and movement, I think will help me in my material needs. Like if I
Can I ask a question real quick?
yeah.
So you said that you had a conversation with Robert, and then you felt slightly better after that conversation, like it was spiritually uplifting. So you kind of for a moment forgot about what was going on in your eye with your eyes. Is that true?
So Robert and I have had, I mean, through this year, I've had this support kind of a support system where we do some authentic healing work and spiritual work. So, we did this thing where we tried to get in touch with what we're really feeling and be just authentic with what's going on in us. And from that place, either read scripture or pray or intend and make a movement towards God and open up to God. And then there was this spiritual connection that we both had. And the feeling was just this intense light coming in. And it just lit all the darkness. And then that next morning when I woke up, I felt light instead of dark. So there's this sense that carried over to the next day of like a connection, a spiritual connection with another person.
So, but did it affect your eyes?
So that week, that connection with him lasts like 3 or 4 days. We also brought other people to mind and tried to expand the spiritual consciousness to other people. My eyes actually improved a little bit each day for like a few days. It seemed to be up to a week. And once that kind of connection I had with Robert faded, it seemed to baseline again and just stopped healing. So I'm thinking, and I had been reading about spiritual healing and thinking, man, I really got to pray for that. The Holy Spirit is powerful. It's possible. I don't know what else caused that, but
And when was this?
it was a couple months ago. And it hasn't improved since then. So I'm thinking there's some intense power in spiritual connection with others when you do the work, kind of dismantle your defenses and open your heart to each other and God. Mm. That causes a healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing, but physical healing.
I'm going to close this up because it's getting kind of long. So.
Yeah. So thanks for watching.
Did you want to say any last couple words?
No, I mean that covers it. I mean I don't usually like being on camera or whatever, but I just think maybe this is interesting, novel, and maybe significant. So
cool.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully maybe some people will reach out and come join you in some spiritual communion.
Possibly. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye.
Bye.